welcome to Tech Doctors, the podcast where we examine the latest technology news from a deeply engineering-centric perspective. I'm Mike Ali, who along with fellow tech doctorate Greg Martin and our MBA buddy Rob Haywood, thank you for joining our discussion. We will work hard to separate facts from opinion and hype from reality. We hope that you'll find our podcast informative and fun, so let's get started. This week, we're talking about autonomous vehicles in general, and specifically Tesla's cybercab service. This is actually just before it debuted in June of this year. And an article on why a Tesla driver decided to quit full self-driving. We'll also discuss the limitations of sensors used on autonomous vehicles. So, we had two related articles. One is about Tesla's earnings slide, where the pressure's on for cybercab, juxtaposed with this Motor Trend article that's titled literally, Why I Had to Quit Using Tesla Full Self-Driving. So I felt the juxtaposition of those two headlines was just too juicy to not throw into an episode of Tech Doctors.
So related to the self-drive, did you guys see that video excerpt that I sent you that I recorded off of television?
I don't think so. I might have missed it.
Oh my God, it was hilarious. I can't remember. I think I was watching something on CNBC, and they were talking about the claims of Elon and self-drive, and they started back at the very beginning.
Right.
And it was like, 5 or 6 years that he was saying, this is the year, this is the year, and just kept on going. Then he got smart and started skipping, by the end of next year. By the end of that, and he's been promising this since he's had a car. It's incredible. And any other company, any other Fortune 100 whose CEO made claims and didn't deliver, their stock will suffer. Their stockholders would challenge the leadership to make realistic goals, or they'll get replaced.
And probably get in trouble with the SEC because it's stock manipulation.
Oh, he's notorious for being accused of that. I'm not going to make a public accusation that he doesn't. But he's been accused of that a lot. And some would even argue that all the bad stuff going on in the market today is a manipulation for everybody to make money.
He actually said it's a great time to get rich or something like that.
They couldn't make all the calls they needed to, so he gave them that dog whistle right there.
Right. Yeah.
And shortly after that, wasn't there a 3% uptick or something like that?
No,
that's all I need on $3 billion.
Is it Elizabeth Warren or is it AOC? No, it's neither of those. Somebody is opening an investigation or trying to open an investigation into, trading around that timing.
Yeah.
So you can't because everybody was fired that does those SEC.
Also, right.
That's actually true. But there was some investigatory work by a journalist that found that Marjorie Taylor Greene put some bets right around that timing with kind of incriminating text messages and to confirm the timing and so it was a scheme. They seem to have all been in on it. And
the trick is to figure out how to join the club.
I don't want to be in that club. I'll pass.
I don't know.
Well, you don't have to worry about persecution. That's for certain.
Not at all. Not at all.
So if you're joining the club just to enhance your portfolio value, I think it's well worth it.
There are lots
because it's legal now.
Lots of independents voted for him to be a member of the club. And Elon paid hundreds, not tens of millions, hundreds of millions of dollars to be a member of the club. And actually is reaping the rewards as much as they are. The problem is he keeps shooting himself in the foot as fast as he's, running the ATM. I do love this quote in the article. The value of the company is primarily on the basis of autonomy. That's really, I think, the main driver of value. And he said that. He said it in 2023. to Rob's point, but he's been saying it many times since. So
Autonomy or autonomous driving vehicle?
autonomy. So he's also throwing in the self-driving cars, but also the humanoid robot Optimus.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Yeah, so that's the game for his stock, right? Is that everybody understands that he's getting clobbered in the car market, but he sold them on we're not a car company, we're an autonomy company. We're going to be selling, and I think in this last go round, he said this time next year we should have millions of robotaxis on the road. I could see millions of robotaxis. Said it point blank. And to Ross, where he did classic, right? But now he said he would normally have said this year. Now he's saying he gives himself another year yet, right?
Yeah, you snowplow that objective, and that way you can reap the benefits of people waiting and see. But I love the fact that he said the other day, if you don't believe where we're going and what we're doing, just sell the stock. Well, that's also a stock manipulation. He can do buybacks.
Right.
Hey, you can't do that.
It's mind-boggling. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You can't do it, but yet he does it. He gets away with it.
So back to the topic of autonomous driving. What's real?
What's real is you can stay between the lanes for a long time on a straight highway that doesn't have any disturbances. So it's probably a pretty good way to get to Vegas. But I still wouldn't recommend falling asleep.
Uh, with one exception, the Motor Trend guy said, at about 20 minutes past sunset, I was cruising with full self-driving at 55 miles per hour on a rural two-lane road. The road was completely straight, no nearby adjoining roads, and no other vehicles, people, or notable features visible. Suddenly, FSD veered sharply left into the oncoming lane of traffic. Straight line, two lanes, clearly marked. The guy's best guess is that there was like a black skid mark on the
Mhm,
on the highway that led into the other lane.
mhm.
And full self-driving, working on camera only, said, there's the road.
So I I do that with my cruise control. Now, the cruise control doesn't say that it's self-driving or whatever else, but it's more in terms of maintaining distance and lane departure.
Right.
Um, don't trust it. I don't know how many times it's driving and all of a sudden it snatches towards the median, the barrier. And I can't explain why it'll do that. Um, I think that I use it more in stop and go traffic
Okay.
Do you ever
because
say irritating things while you're in the vehicle?
I'm sorry,
Do you ever, sometimes you say things to people that are somewhat irritating, and I'm wondering if the car is trying to kill you.
or silence the negativity.
Yeah, from its perspective, it doesn't really think in terms of
Yeah,
violence. It
you
thinks,
say it's
I'm kind of
stupid
Yeah,
tired.
car.
I trust that cruise control and its functionality even less since we've had these
Right,
discussions
right.
because I'm starting to understand some of the limitations around the technology that's in this car that doesn't claim to be autonomous driving car. It claims to have some type of dynamic cruise or something like that, which is the best thing to have in Los Angeles stop and go traffic.
Mhm.
Because the most tiring thing to me is taking my foot off the gas
Mhm.
onto the brake and back and forth and back and forth.
Yep.
This thing helps you keep the distance and it'll go back and forth, and it's not enough runway where you're going to smash into somebody and cause damage.
Mhm.
Um, and I found that I can tolerate the LA traffic better. But outside of that, I don't trust it when you're going 60, 65 and you see brake lights up ahead and you're still going 60 to 65.
Yeah.
I was
So
like, I will not be a casualty.
yeah, you
Well,
asked the right question, which is what is the state of the art? One of the problems is we don't know because we can't get enough metrics from these car companies to know just how good their the driving is, right? They have one metric that they'll talk about miles between accidents, right? Which millions, we got millions of miles, and they supposedly have some data around that, but so much other stuff isn't there, right? You don't know what near misses are. You don't know how many times the remote drivers, right, had to intervene, how much the safety driver had to intervene, right? There's no data
Can,
coming out on that stuff.
can you touch a little bit more or provide a little bit more context around the remote drivers?
Right. Well, this is one
Because
way, right?
you never hear about that.
Right. So when they started these autonomous vehicles, right, the safety driver was in the car, right? And so the robotaxi service, right, the safety driver is there strictly to act as a backup. So this is your autonomy on training wheels. But everybody knows, right? And again, remember we're talking about the Silicon Valley game. The game is to get the investors and to get the value so they can see this multi-billion-dollar opportunity. Everybody knows that you can't scale with safety drivers, right? You just have a taxi service now that costs 10 times more, right? So you got to get the safety driver out of the car. So one way they do that is they put the safety driver basically at a remote location. So now all the data is coming back there, right? They got the cameras, they got the light, all the information is coming back to a remote driver. And the idea is the same idea though. This person's only intervening when they need to, when the car tells them they need to, typically. Now at that point, you can play the game of 5 to 1, 10 to 1, right? How many autonomous vehicles do you need per do one human being can control if they're doing most of the work, right? And so of course Waymo and these guys go, yep, we've got these back, we've got these drivers back at the headquarters and they're interviewing when they need to, but not very often. And so 10 to 1, 20 to 1, 100 to 1, right? Who knows? They won't say because obviously it can't be 1 to 1 because again, same problem. And so that's the part that we don't know. But a lot of these guys have, I think all of them have a remote backup right now in the form of a remote driver.
The
So
reason
I
why
don't like remote backup. Go ahead, Rob.
no, go ahead, Greg.
I don't like remote backup. I think we were on a different path. I think we were on the path of we like semi-autonomous vehicles in prescribed environments. And as the environment grows, then I think my comfort with the safety of these vehicles grows.
When you say semi, what does that mean?
So semi-autonomous being it's autonomous within a confined context. Like we talked about automated golf carts in retirement homes. They never go above 20 miles an hour. The grounds are fixed, they're of a limited size, and so the whole pathway can be mapped out with the vehicle itself, and so you can really create an environment where the vehicle is extremely safe in that environment.
Like a
Uh,
mail cart back in the late 80s?
that was my example. In the early 80s, I was at IBM in 1981 and had a mail cart going down the middle, following I don't know, I think it was
Like a tape track or something like
tape
that. A
track or something.
magnetic track that they would
Which
do in
one?
the
Yeah.
carpet.
But that's an early example to me of introducing robotics in a safe way, and I think that's the right thing for vehicles because the right use for vehicles is not for people to find new ways to go solo in a vehicle. The future needs to connect people to better transit when they get closer to the city center. And I think autonomous vehicles in a instrumented, continually updated city, within a downtown area or something like that, is workable. Like Portland, you could build an autonomous system in Portland that covers the whole downtown, and everything is pre-planned essentially. You don't even need closed loop control. You just follow the path, and it's almost like a bus service, that
Right.
type. Yeah. So
So they would just link it to the coffee shops.
yeah. You'd have, far more drop-offs and a far more flexible drop-off pattern where it's essentially you're on your phone, you're on the app, and you say exactly where you want to go. And if, like on the elevator, if there's no one between you and the floor you're on and the floor you want to get to, you get the express lane. But if it's better to drop somebody off, that'll all just be built into, because we really are trying to get more efficient at the same time with this smart city, which is essentially what I'm talking about. And that's where I'd be comfortable with autonomous vehicles. And then the other thing that we talked about, you can instrument highways to make them a perfect environment for autonomous vehicles. But to make that work, the environment has to have some control. And that's the hard part. You essentially think of an on-ramp to a freeway as letting go of your car. It's just a container for you now. And the freeway is deciding where you program where you want to get off, and then it becomes your car again. But while you're on the freeway, artificial intelligence is essentially organizing the path of all these vehicles to optimize how we all get through.
And it knows everything.
But everybody has to be on it, not
exactly.
Everybody's vehicle's got an ID tag, a GPS connection.
It's not trying to guess what someone's going to do. It knows what everyone's doing because it's in control.
A completely proscribed environment makes me comfortable. And we have the technology to do that. I think the ego of our tech leaders is driving them to try to replicate humanity. But I don't think it's necessary. I think what we do is take this really good stuff we got called technology and apply it in a way that works best for humans.
So just real quickly, since I got the mic, I wanted to go back to why I was asking about the person-supported driving.
Mm-hmm.
I pull up at a light next to a Waymo.
Mm-hmm.
And we were at a facility where they serviced, and there must have been about 30 or 40 Waymos parked and everything else. So there were a lot in this neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
And I pull up to the light, and there's about 4 feet in front of the Waymo before it gets to the other car.
Mm-hmm.
The light hadn't changed, and I wanted to pull up to see the technology on the front part of the car.
Okay.
And as I was staring at the technology, the Waymo pulled up out of my line of vision.
Yeah.
The car in front of it hadn't moved.
Yeah.
The light hadn't changed.
Right.
No other cars moved.
Right.
But that thing clearly was moving, so I couldn't stare at it. And I was just like, somebody probably looked at the screen and saw me kind of staring at it as this guy's a risk or something.
Quite possibly.
And pulled it up like about a foot.
Yeah, quite possibly.
And the traffic, I was just like, because normally the Waymo follows very, very strict.
Yeah, right.
It appears to be very, very strict.
Yeah.
Guidelines and a conservative,
right.
operating.
I'd say that's a fair guess. I really would. And then back to the point on geofencing, right? That is the way Waymo is operating, right? They're in, I think, San Francisco and Arizona and a couple of cities. And there's, that's what they've done, right? They map out the city. They map out what every day or so.
But they don't instrument the city.
No. I wasn't saying they do smart cities. I'm saying that they do this geofencing. That's kind of what they're claiming is their methodology will let them quickly scale to other cities, which we'll see now. I still haven't figured out. They still don't have an answer for weather. I don't know how they get around that, right? But we'll see what happens as they leave, the sunny environs of Arizona and Texas or wherever they are, and head to Pittsburgh and even Portland. Portland gets rainy, right? And cloudy.
I don't think weather is as big of an impediment as you think it is.
Well, as usual, I'm not just saying this because I came up off the top of my head. I've got the receipts. I've got a paper that they go through in detail, researchers, and they talk about the limitations of LiDAR, camera, ultrasonics, and weather is a big part of that. So if you can say you don't think so, but I'm not saying I think so. I'm saying you can go find the research and it will tell you that those sensors have limitations.
So once again, I gave a qualitative response and you gave a binary answer to that response.
How's that binary?
I didn't say, there's no way. I said it might not be as big of an issue as you seem to think it is, because you seem to think you set the thing up in Arizona and then you're going to take it to Boston and it's not going to work. And I'm saying that's a bit of an extreme position to take. It might not work the way it does in
Oh.
Arizona, in Boston, but I'm not going to say that you can't make a car navigate around a city because it's raining. I think that's
You
a
you you
ridiculous.
can't say if I showed you that in the rain LiDAR doesn't work and you rely on LiDAR to make the car work, would you then say yeah? Or would you
But
say,
that's a
oh well,
hypothetical. We're trying to figure out whether an autonomous vehicle, specifically Waymo, is going to be able to operate in a city where it's raining, Mike. Let's just focus on
okay,
that.
well that's not a hypothetical. The LiDAR doesn't
Exactly.
work. It doesn't, that's a fact.
So so what does Waymo plan to do with its LiDAR down because
I
of the rain?
don't know. That's why I raise it as a
So
question. They don't
The
know.
rains in
question, the
California. It
question.
rains in California. Do they take them all down when
I
it
don't
starts
know.
raining?
I'm telling you, I said they do get some rain, but you can look it up. You can see where the limitations of these. I don't say don't work, but I'm telling you. And forget snow. Forget it. So I don't know. I don't know the answer. I do know there are serious problems with the sensors and weather.
Yes, Waymo vehicles are designed to operate in rain, and they can handle both light and heavy rain conditions.
Yeah, the other thing I would say while you're pulling that up, the other thing I'd say is that the LiDAR is probably not working. When they say it can work in the rain and stuff, that means they're relying on just the cameras, right? And so, there's a reason why they're using this is what worries me, right? They go, oh, no, we just revert to the cameras when it's raining or something. You go, well, yeah,
So,
but you
so
put
it says they use algorithms and hardware such as windshield wipers and sensor cleaning systems to address the challenges that rain presents to
right. So that's
autonomous
that's
driving.
visual, right? But see, this is where you
Yeah,
get right.
it
So it's like,
switches
oh,
back to visual.
we're back
Yeah.
to cameras, but the reason why they put the LiDAR in there in the first place was the cameras weren't sufficient. So I'm like, okay, so your plan now is to go back to the cameras and the ultrasonics. I'm like, well, how? And as a person, just as a person who wants to be in an environment with these vehicles, I'm like, okay, so you'd already determined that unlike Elon Musk, you're smart enough to know you need LiDAR, but when it rains, you can't use it. So now you're using cameras like he does, and you got those limitations in the weather where it's tricky, right? When we human drivers are more careful in the rain, right? So wouldn't you want the robot vehicle to be more careful in the rain as well, as opposed to be handicapped? Here's another one. LiDAR's performance is significantly affected by rain and snow, primarily due to scattering and absorption of the laser beams by water droplets or snow particles. This can lead to decreased detection range, false detections, and overall reduced accuracy. Okay, so these are simple facts. Now, what they have is radar and cameras, right, to make up for the lack of LiDAR. LiDAR also faces challenges in fog and smog because it's light. It's a light radar, right? And so anything that messes up with light can mess up your LiDAR,
And like you just said, they have other sensors.
which again, there's a reason why they put if they could have done it only with those other sensors, they would have. Because as we all know, LiDAR is very expensive right now, right? So they had to put the LiDAR on there, except for our friend Elon Musk, who says, I'm smarter than everyone. I don't need LiDAR. Everyone else said we have to have LiDAR. When it rains and snows, oh, we can't use LiDAR. It's okay. You've got the cameras and maybe radar. And I'm looking up radar limitations because radar has problems as well. Radar systems used in autonomous vehicles have limitations in inclement weather, particularly heavy rain or fog, as they significantly reduce radar signal strength and accuracy. Less affected by weather than sensors like cameras and LiDAR, functionality can still be impaired in extreme conditions. So, right when you want the most sensors that you have, dangerous, snowy, rainy conditions, is when they are the least effective. Think about that.
So what I think about that is here we are again, looking at today's state, and you're making statements about what will never happen. I think that it's very, very possible that LiDAR will get better. I think every problem that we've ever encountered, especially a simple one like dispersion of light because of raindrops and all that kind of stuff, there's a university graduate student right now with the potential to solve that problem. They
He ain't
just
going to solve it with light.
they just need a
And
visionary.
he probably won't walk across the stage.
What he needs is a visionary leader like you, Mike, to help him see what's possible, as opposed to as a technologist, man. You gotta
I
just
know. We always get into this
light
debate around what's possible and what's
bring
probable
yourself to the
because
light of possibility, man.
I
You are
know
living in the
the
darkness
light,
of
yes.
what's
And
impossible
Hey,
today, and that's a horrible place to be.
yeah,
hey,
except
Mike,
for one thing, you can't beat physics. Light reflects off of snow. I'm sorry, you can't
hey,
stop
Mike,
it.
are
Yes.
are subs using
Subs.
technology besides sonar?
I wish I could say I'm up to speed on what subs use besides sonar. I mean,
It's gonna
they,
work.
they
It's gonna work.
okay. Yeah, I don't know, Rob. The answer is I don't know what else they use. I mean, I think they use magnetics maybe. I don't know if they use gravity at all, but
I just
this,
proved that no one will ever fly. I just proved it once and for all.
oh, here we go again.
There
Okay.
will never be another. There will
I
never be an airplane. Those are
and
that's
and
all
and
fake news. It's just like the moon. There was no real
And
landing.
someday,
We
Greg,
did the studio
someday
in
it's
Maryland.
possible that someone will make a device that will enable someone to fly by flapping their arms. It's possible. You should get a grad student and work on that problem. You should lead a grad student to do that, okay?
I'm sending you back to academia. I have a different job when I go back.
Remember in Seinfeld when Kramer got that student? That's what you need. You need a student to we're gonna continue on.
I've hired a million interns. You know this, Mike.
I know you have. Did you ever have them work on the human arm flapping flying problem?
No, but I did try to get one to build a safe chatbot for kids.
Okay, that's a perfectly reasonable thing.
No, it isn't. Did you read
Oh,
about did you know that
safe chatbot for kids.
did you know Meta has a chatbot today that will talk sexy to a 13-year-old child? It's an
Well,
article in Wall Street Journal.
yeah, I mean, are you saying that, every time they think they can put some guardrails around these chatbots, it turns out that it's harder than they think? Is that what you're getting at?
Well, my issue at the time was we got to take the time to understand these things. We got to thoroughly test.
I'm with you 100%.
That's all I said. We got to make sure that we're safe.
Yes.
And people are so convinced that this technology can be manipulated at the drop of a hat. They're like, if we have, some issue, we'll address it then. And I was like, no, I'm not going to be a part of a team that puts something like that out there. I
So
have
the
children.
right, the tools are just now coming out where they can look to see how these things are quote unquote reasoning, right? They can start doing some of the mapping and stuff. They've just started. But this goes right back to the
I think that's an
foundation of
MIT researcher. Was she at MIT?
yeah, there's a bunch of them, but the point is that this is the foundation of tech doctors, right? Because this myth, right, that somehow these technology breakthroughs are accompanied by all these, back to your point, great men who have the safety of the people in mind as they advance their ideas. It's a total myth, right? They're out to make money as quick as they can, and if they can do it, right, and however they do it, that's where they're going. What's really interesting was when all these AI researchers went running the car and said, "Boy, we really need to be regulated, man. We're going nuts here, right? We're about to go crazy with this technology, and it's very dangerous, right?" That was Sam Altman's claim to fame, right? He went running to Congress going, "Hey, we're really bad. You guys should do something about us." And I'm like, "Why don't you do something about you?"
Well, that's a tall order. He's got a board to satisfy.
It's amazing how you let these guys off the hook. I can't even. I can't even. Okay.
Greg can be bought.
Yeah.
Every PhD has their price.
Yeah, that's what the P stands for.
Price higher than demand. What?
That's pretty good, Mike.
Yes, it is.
Excellent.
It's true. And it's true.
So I think we've covered everything, but you put another article in there about the new $20,000 electric truck slash
Oh yeah, the electric truck.
With no bells and whistles.
From
It
Jeff
doesn't come with
Bezos.
seat belts.
I was so excited to read that article. I've been dreaming of a $20,000 electric car with no incentives because they have one in China.
First of all, the truck I've seen it. They said 20. I've already seen articles saying it's more like 25 or even 29. It's very hard to make a
I'm
$20,000
so pissed off.
vehicle.
So this is my thing. I read that with so much enthusiasm. I was so happy. Finally, I've been dreaming of this. And the more I read, the more pissed off I got. So you want a break? You want brakes? That's 50 grand right there, bro. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Okay.
What's
And
that?
they built in the damn 7,500 on top.
Right.
So it's like the car company is called Spirit.
No, it's actually worse. They call themselves Blank Slate. They think that that's catchy because you can build anything you want, but I don't. I think Blank Slate is going to work against them at the end.
Yeah, I don't see it.
They might as well bring Yugo back.
Right.
Yeah. I think what I was going to do is see if I could do a quick calculation on it too, because I'm pretty sure the battery pack, they're talking about 150-mile range, and I'm like, yeah, that whole game is all weight, and there's only so much space for a small battery pack.
Well,
And I think
it's cheap, but they're
and also it's not aerodynamic. So you've got no, it's not aerodynamic. They're talking about having a trailer. So now your 150 miles goes down to what? 70? Can you imagine taking a trailer up a hill with that thing, Greg? Remember what Greg used to have?
The thing is smaller than a Ford Maverick. You know how small
I know
Maverick is?
exactly. It's small. I do know how small a Ford Maverick is. Greg, remember
I'm in the market for an electric truck. This thing would meet my needs. I just got to carry dirt around for my daughter's garden. I don't need to carry 1,500 tons or whatever.
I'm with you. I think it's silly, right? I'm with you. I'd be like, look, within a zone, and they said they can get extended range up to 200. I just worry that all those specs are going to drop when you really look at the physics of it. But Greg, remember, Greg used to have a Nissan Leaf, right? And going back to his house up that hill, you could watch the battery. You could watch it charge.
Hills change everything. But then when you go down the other side, you pick up miles.
You did. Yeah, going downhill, you were like a hero. You were like a eco warrior, baby. Look at us. Regenerative braking.
Morning. Come on.
What the Leaf has is a little indicator of the number of trees you saved.
Right.
So
yeah,
while you're driving, you're building trees. If you feather touch and if you let off long before stopping, and if you basically piss off everybody behind you because you're trying to save on power, you can build all these. You can build up to like 5 trees. Yeah. I still get excited when I make a new tree.
That's why they called it the Leaf.
I never thought of that. It might be. I don't know.
As it was going uphill, it would automatically unlatch the door and say, "Passenger, get ready to get out and push."
Yeah. You're not going to mess up my mileage.
Right.
Exactly. And as it runs down, you have to do the.
or like the Flintstones, that truck probably got like a panel. You start pedaling.
I gotta stop talking, man. I'm sure some of Elon's bots are listening. We can't give him any ideas about kicking the driver out. He'd be like, "I never thought of that."
Who made the Leaf? Who was it?
Nissan.
They just discontinued it. They got a new one called the IOQOS.
Yeah, it's a nice little car. I like that car.
Yeah, they got something else now.
It was perfect.
It was revolutionary. I think that was the first kind of scale version of an electric car. I think you got 80 miles, so it was just for riding around the city.
Yeah.
I still have mine. It gets I can get up to maybe.
Wait, you still I didn't know you still had it.
Oh. Yeah, I still got it. I take it to the store every day.
And like you had no maintenance issues with it at all?
You have to replace the brakes. I've had to replace the brakes once. That's it.
Wow. That's amazing. The battery pack is still holding full charge, everything.
I've gotten it serviced for like $19.99 or something, just out of curiosity as to what it does.
Yeah.
And they just pump it full of fresh electrons. That's all they do, I'm sure.
It's not like they're not saying they got to replace the battery pack or anything like that.
You can't wash it. You can't go in and do surgery. You just have to charge it. That's the service. Charge it really slow or really fast or something.
Leading environmentally friendly, affordable family vehicle.
Leaf. Oh, isn't that cute?
Oh, nice.
Not a freaking stretch. I'm disappointed. I like the tree saving thing.
Yeah. Said the marketing guy. That would have worked for them if they had used it. That's why they went out of business. That's why they had to.
It's always good when you get the pro in there talking about, hey, they made a mistake. This could have been about trees.
People are talking about let's fix the acronym.
Did you see the with the truck that with a couple of wrenches you can turn it into a 6-seat SUV?
That's what they said. Yeah, right. I saw they could put this. You can put something on the back, like a cover or something, and
It kind
somehow
of
get
felt like you were
seats.
flipping over the bed or something, but I'm telling you, that's my dream car, man. That
Yeah,
color.
yeah. It's like a Lego, right? I get it. Everybody wants a Lego truck. I'm with you. I said
If
it
it's
caught my
40
eye.
grand before I get it home, I'm gonna be pissed off.
Yeah, I think there's gonna go two things. I think one is that I think all those specs are gonna go down. I think the price is gonna go up, and you're gonna give up. You're gonna give up something. And also, I think their business model is gonna change to where they want some sort of ongoing subscription revenue stream out of you. It might be certain add-ons that they know you can't live without that you're going to get from them, right? Or some they got to do something. I don't think they can pull it
Tires,
off.
brakes, like you
That's what I'm saying.
said.
There were some obvious ones in the article. Light
I
coverage.
Yeah, right.
So you're looking at bare bulbs in your car, really?
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, right. You can 3D print those on your own. I'm like, why? What? Yeah. So I mean, that's what it felt
Yeah, I
like. It
got
just
my
felt
in
like,
my
yeah.
garage. I got a 3D printer.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's all going the wrong way. That's all. And it does, every time I tried Spirit, every time I try Spirit, they just break my heart. I go,
that's
all
the
right,
model they're
Spirit.
trying.
I'll say, okay, Spirit, I'll try it. And each time they go, wait, you wanted to sit down?
Yeah,
You
that's the
know?
thing. But the thing is, with Spirit, you don't get those questions. People like me who don't read anything and just show up at the airport, you don't get to those questions until you're on the plane. You've paid your fees. You're
Right.
not backing out. So you're pissed. You'll
Or
never
you're
fly
stuck.
the
You're
airplane,
pissed. Yeah, you're
but
right.
you're
You
going to
are.
finish that flight.
You're gonna
And
have to. Yep.
Here's a car, and you're telling me that before I write the final check, I'm going to find out that I don't have a windshield, a brake pad, or covers for my lights.
Yeah.
I might not finish that sale, is what
Yeah.
I'm saying.
You remember the manual crank windshield? We don't give you the crank either.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I don't think it's going to be pretty. I think it's a great, and like I said, the other problem is, unfortunately, you really have to go to a low cost country to do that manufacturing. You can't do it here in the US. It's too dang expensive. It's too many dollars per hour to get the resources to do that stuff.
I hate that they took the challenge and then screwed it up and then fake like they met the challenge by becoming Spirit Airlines. I started off reading the article thinking I was in love with this truck. I finished the article thinking I'll never buy this crap from because I don't like the way they presented it. Period.
Yeah, deceptive, isn't it?
The
Welcome,
truck
but
actually
I'm
looks
I'm
good. I
sorry.
actually do want it, but I'm not
I'm
buying it.
sorry.
And then I hate Jeff Bezos, by the way.
At the last Tech Doctors,
There goes Amazon.
didn't we say? Like, there you go. But there's still Sam. Don't forget, you still got him. But remember, didn't we say that hype was a necessary for innovation? Why
Yes,
are
we
you
did.
upset about hype? You started the article with the hype, and you're just mad because the hype.
This isn't really hype. This is features. Really hype.
Oh,
They
okay.
actually do not give you the cover for the light.
Well,
That's
that's
real.
yeah.
That's not hype. They don't give it to you.
Well, no, they're trying to make you think the cover is hype.
No, I think
I
they're
hear
trying
you.
to
Yeah,
make
I
it
know. Well, the hype is a truck for 20 grand.
That's the
Electric truck for
hype.
20. That's the hype.
That's
And I'm
the
saying,
hype.
you said you can't have innovation without hype. You said you're all in. You said it's a necessary evil. So
And
you
it
are.
is.
It
And I'm
is.
just saying I'm not buying this particular truck. I'm not mad at them for
It got us to read the article, didn't it?
Sure did.
I think that is the necessary evil defense. It has that flaw baked in, which is that the necessary evil doesn't make us happy. Recognizing that we are the victim of a necessary evil doesn't make us okay with it. We're not okay with that.
I didn't say I was okay with it. I said it's a natural part of
Yes,
that cycle.
which I still don't agree with. By the way, I'm pulling together a dossier to refute you point by point on that as
And
well.
you'll go back to the 18th century and find a benevolent entrepreneur, I'm sure.
Da Vinci. Yes, you're right.
Exactly. I knew it. You went back even further.
King of the Brits.
No, wait, that is 18th century, right? Da Vinci?
What was Da Vinci? 16? Was he Renaissance? Rob, where's Rob? Where's the liberal arts major?
That's part of your homework, man.
Don't
That guy in
you
historic
demean my
You better know.
diploma.
You know you took art history. Don't lie.
Did not once. I did take astrophysics and geology.
101 don't count, baby.
It's under that curriculum. It's all the same.
Well, astrophysics, stars and bars, rocks for jocks, sluts and nuts. Yeah, no, don't try it. All right. Well, we finished another successful Tech Doctors podcast.
I don't know about successful, but we finished one.
You know what? Why do you always have to drag us back into the muck?
I don't think it was that bad this time.
Just doing my job.
I think the last couple have been really good. I think we're just when I go through the editing, I basically say, oh, we need the intro, right? We still haven't really got the intro. Like if somebody was listening to us for the first time, they don't have a clue what's going on. We need an intro, and then we need our little outro, and then I pretty much minimize Rob in the middle, and that's pretty much my formula.
I can't wait to see one of these and see what all good stuff I did.
I can minimize Rob in the beginning and the end too. I can help you with that.
Don't be petty. Don't be petty, okay?